All right, now let's go back to the Select menu. Let's go back to Refine Edge and get in there. And as usual, we see it on our white background to begin with. And the way I think about this is I'm usually going to paint where I can see hints of the old background. Now, I can see hints of the old background around darn near the whole thing. Can you see it over here in his arm? That's where the slider called Radius is useful. Radius means act as if I used the brush that we've talked about in here. But I'm going to paint across the entire picture as if I had a brush of this radius that I dial in. So watch the edge near the arm over here. As I bring radius up, do you see it change the teeniest bit? Just stare kind of down here. I'll zoom up further so you might see it better. But I'll bring up radius some more. And you see that change. But you'll find at a certain point it just doesn't seem to help anymore. Instead, it's actually bringing noise in from the background. You just want to bring that up so the edge does not look jaggy. If the problem on the edge is not that it doesn't fade out properly, instead the problem is one of color. There's a different feature that'll help us with that. But to be honest, I should have done a better job on my original selection there. This isn't the best place to fix it. Let's deal with the hair. When I'm done dealing with the hair, we'll see if we can get it to fix the color over there on the edge. So thinking about the hair, I'm going to paint where I can still see little hints of the old background. See if I can get it to recalculate there. And if I'm not sure, I might go in here and just change this to overlay and just paint wherever the red doesn't match up well with the transition where the hair is, because that's where it needs to have control. So I'll paint right there because I can see those little flyaways we wouldn't want it to mess up on. And now that looks much better, doesn't it? And we'll go over here. And this is where on this particular image I notice it's quite noisy. And so it would have been most ideal is if when I open this, if it was a RAW file, I open it in Camera Raw, do the noise reduction first. It'll give you a cleaner image to do this with, but we're not going to spend the time there. See a little bit there. A little bit of hair there. Now, just so you know, with that slider we had up here called Radius, that is going to act as if we're doing what I'm doing right now, but we painted all around the entire image on where its edge is, using a brush of this wide. But there is a checkbox called Smart Radius, and what that would be for is if the edge of your object in some areas is soft and in other areas is really crisp. This would try to prevent the really crisp areas from getting soft. All right, so we have that. For now, I'm just going to think about the top of the head as far as what we're doing here. We might later on look at the rest, but unless we have, well, we got this furry thing down here on the right, so I might at least come down here and paint where its edge is. You know, at least get that. But the rest of it isn't really furry, fuzzy, or hairy, so we're not using the best feature to fix the rest. All right, then let's view this on white. Let's zoom up. And one of the issues you can have is, first off, a little bit too much of the background showing up. And if that happens, that's where you grab the little eraser tool. Remember the one at the top left of my screen? And you can attempt to come in here with that and say, hey, this isn't hair. I see little hints of noise here. And you can try to get it to clear some of that up if it's there. We wouldn't have had that in the first place had we dealt with the noise in the image as a whole to begin with. But you can try to clear it up.